What's going on? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone.
What's going on, everybody? You know what day it is?
It's my favorite day of the week.
Number 2.
Because he's just not great like the rest of us, guys. I'm sorry.
Let's not do that now.
No, Thursdays are like the best day of the week. I can take it all the way old school. This was the day that Cosby Show came on. Different World came on. I'm just saying.
Saturday is the day of
what? Cartoons.
There's no work tomorrow, and you get to sleep in. Saturday is amazing.
You mean there's no work the following day?
That's what I said. There's no work tomorrow.
But it's okay. Tomorrow's Friday.
Well, tomorrow. If it was Saturday, I would say tomorrow's and Sunday.
Hey guys. Anyway, if this is your first time watching, this is Brother Empowerment. An extension of Love is a Parable. Our whole purpose is to help brothers to break through without breaking. This is a conversation. This is not that bashing show where we talk about things that one is not doing or should be doing and things like that. No, this is actually an opportunity for us to have a healthy conversation and talk about things from a different perspective.
Yep.
Okay, so if, like we said, if it's your first time watching, you in for a treat. But before we get into our guest, bro, how was your week?
Man, this week, has been kind of difficult, even though I haven't been doing a whole lot. I need a vacation, bro. Really, that's what it is. I need a vacation.
I said I haven't been doing a lot, but I need a vacation.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Right. I've been at home quarantined, going to work, and really just doing the least amount, but I really need a vacation. I really need to unplug from work, from life, and just to go and just somewhere and just be just chilling.
Where would you like to go if you could go on a vacation, bro?
Really, I would like to go out of the country, but since that's not going to be possible because I have problems getting back in the country and I have to be quarantined when I come back, I'm not.
That's really not really a bad problem.
Well, you know what? It is just because I don't want them problems.
Oh, okay. Touche.
Yeah. So, but no, this week has been pretty good though, bro. About to talk to my mom. She's gonna be.
Hey, Mom.
She's gonna be out here next week, which is amazing because we both know how hard it is for her to get clearance to come out here.
I love her.
Yeah, so it's gonna be amazing. But other than that, bro, the week has been pretty all right. How about yourself, man?
My week actually has been somewhat. I need a vacation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually work. You said you weren't doing nothing. I'm actually doing stuff.
It's implied that I'm working, though.
No, you said I'm really not doing nothing. I need a vacation.
Well, I wish my bills could get paid while I'm doing nothing.
Hey, there are professions for these things. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Whereas for me, man, I've been working hard. But no, anybody who's been keeping up with us, Love is a Parable has been extremely busy. And there's been so many things going on that has kept us like, well, we really are not taking a break.
Right.
But I'm not upset about it. Little tired, little sore, but I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity to go to the Black Lives Matters anti-racism
I saw that. I saw you out there.
march on Saturday. And woo! My legs was hurting.
It was hot.
I'm just too fat for that. I just contemplated life. I was like, I had all the type of respect in the world for Martin Luther the King and Malcolm X. I just couldn't do it. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how do people in their old age still walking and doing all that? And Jay couldn't even make it in Holly Springs. I don't even think we went a whole mile.
Was it?
But we went. But it actually has been a pretty dope week, man. Had some dope conversations.
Right.
Had an opportunity to participate in the Holly Springs Interfaith Council that was started by the mayor down there in Holly Springs. So trying to do some big things to bring unity into the areas, even spilling over to Fuquay and Apex and things like that. So pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's enough about me, but we got special guests.
Yes, we do. A whole panel this time.
No, we're not even going to go to this one.
Okay.
We're not going to go to the top right. We're going to go to the bottom with Make Your Mark. Tell the people who you is, who you be.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, I be Ashley Martell, and I am one of the founders of Make Your Mark, which is a youth outreach, and we are based out of Holly Springs, which is my hometown.
Oh, what do y'all do with the kids?
We do a lot with the kids. We try to just have things in events that they can do once a month, more if we can, where that can just offer a sense of community for them, make it fun, and also give them access to our network and our mentors.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take it up to the top, right? Because it's 2 organizations in one. So tell them about you.
Well, I'm Jasmine Brown, also from Holly Springs, and I run a nonprofit called Facts for Youth, and we focus on financial literacy for teens.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. That's what's up. Yeah.
That's dope on the road.
Yep. Yeah.
Come on, brother. Tell the people who you be.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. Jay, it's been a long time, man.
Back like you never left.
I know, right? But I have an organization as well. It is called the After School Special, but a lot of people know me for Teens Have a Voice Too. And what we do there is we create opportunities for teenagers. So actually, we got to connect because I'm trying to always expand my network. So
yeah, I was thinking the same thing about you and Jasmine. It's funny. I had just mentioned that we had been thinking about doing some financial literacy stuff for our older kids. So you the perfect plug, and then you with the opportunity for the teens. I mean, I think we all could do a lot of work together.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the cool thing is that's actually why I wanted you guys to be on together anyway. Having 2 Holly Springers. But having 2 people from Holly Springs for one. A lot of people who don't know, when I first moved to the Raleigh-Durham area, I lived in Holly Springs for 2.5 years, worked in downtown Holly Springs for about 4.5 years. So Holly Springs is what I consider an extension of my home, but also because of the rich history. And one of the things that Love is a Parable does that's a little unique, we have a youth advocacy program, but it's actually being led by Ian along with Tashia, who actually are our parent advocates to help us run that. But one of the things that we want to do is just provide services for children. And we don't believe that it needs to be a competition of whose organization is on top, as long as that need is being met. And so when talking to Ashley, I knew that she had that similar heart. She just wanted to get things done. Yeah. And then, of course, Jasmine, I knew if you had any affiliation with Ian, it's about collaboration. How do we know? Because you had an awesome show, Dialogue. It was 3, right?
4.
It was 4. Mm-hmm. So I missed one. I need to catch up then. I saw 3 of them where you guys were actually having a conversation about self-awareness and emotional intelligence for youth. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we kind of had this idea to get into the social and emotional learning segment. And with everything going on right now with COVID and these teens and what they're going through, missing out on prom or, missing out on graduation, et cetera, it just seemed like, the right thing to do. Yeah.
We kind of just want to give, the teenagers little gems and short little segments. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. And it definitely was. And one of the things that I did like is because, y'all, if you don't know about Ian is probably one of the dopest youth leaders that I have ever met, especially males, because he has a way of captivating them. But in a way where, like some people use that as a platform to validate themselves. Ian uses every moment to esteem the youth, and they always leave with something. And I've even been engaged by listening to the things that you do in person. But if you can deal with my 11-year-old, y'all, that's the queen of mean. If he can keep the queen of mean cool, you got a special gift. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I'm so glad that you have always been able to help us and be that person too. And so I'm excited to be working with you 2 ladies as well.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you want to see who's on? Y'all comment so we can see y'all.
So we got Tara is on. Hey Tara.
Hey Tara.
We got Danielle.
Hi, Tara.
We got Janelle. We got Adrian. We got Uncle Marcus is on.
Hey Unc.
What's up, Uncle?
Y'all, that's y'all Uncle too. Y'all tell Uncle Marcus hello.
Hey Uncle Marcus.
What's up,
Hey Uncle Marcus.
We got Mama Garnett. She's on. So we got Ambrosia is on. We got Kim Rawls. And that's all I see for right now.
My Sora just came on. Chanel is on.
I did say Chanel.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
You need to say it with your chest. That's a member of Zeta Phi Beta.
How would you say that?
You know what, you nasty. You nasty. Hey, Chanel.
Sis is on. So.
Oh, look. Yes, Ian.
Hey.
That's cute.
What's going on? What's going on, Tamika?
Hey.
Bull.
Durham. Okay.
Awesome sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get into the discussion. So y'all are welcome to chime in. So one of the things that was a spillover from last week that we actually are seeing this week too is, can we cancel the phrase "we didn't ask for"? We didn't ask for that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Man, they've been hashtagging it up. We ain't asked for that. So you want to get into it?
I mean, but like we said about it last week, really, it's all of it is leading up to the actual bigger issue, which is legislation and the policies and all that. But removal of monuments and those other things are important too. So I would just say that saying that we didn't ask for that is kind of just premature, because yeah, that might not be the biggest thing that we're asking for, but we'll take it too, as long as we keep going and the pressure still is applied. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm glad I haven't seen too much of that, because I think that just creates the wrong message, and that's divisive in itself. Like, don't say we didn't ask for that. No, we want that too. We may not ask for that specifically, but no, we'll take that. We'll take that too. On the way to the big fish, we'll take that too.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
What do y'all got to say about that? Is a hashtag going around saying we didn't ask for that, meaning that you have Blacks and people of color who are saying, like, why y'all doing that? We didn't ask for that. Mm-hmm. Saying that they feel like the white allies are doing a little too much. What
like as far as an example of, what is an example that they're doing? I haven't seen it. Like taking down a monument or
Aunt Jemima off the
okay.
Getting rid of Uncle Ben.
Yep.
I can understand where they're coming from, because it's like, you know, don't do that and think you've done enough. You've done your job and the problem is solved. That's all. That's surface level stuff, you know. Yeah. There's I understand where they're coming from, but I also understand where you're coming from. Okay, we'll take that too. We didn't ask for it, but we'll take it too. Just know that your work isn't done.
Right. Keep the pressure on. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything up there? Jasmine and Ian?
Yeah, so I kind of look at that as just people who are just never satisfied. I mean, really think about it. Like, who started that hashtag? Like, seriously.
I would love to know that, because yeah.
Joy, she said she started it.
That's funny.
I'll say this though, just because we can't speak for everybody, and we don't know who asked for that. And it's just like, it's intergenerational. Racism has been around so long, we don't know who had a problem with what.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for you to say that, you know, we didn't ask for that, that's hindering the progression of the things that you specifically may have asked for, or your generation may have asked for. But that Aunt Jemima has been bothering somebody for plenty of years. It may not have bothered you, but that doesn't mean it hasn't bothered your mom's generation or your grandma's generation. It bothered somebody. Yeah. And the same thing with Uncle Ben. You know, and we also talk about representation matters. Well, guess what? That's representation that is shifting, that is changing, that can actually help the younger generation. Sometimes it's not all about us.
Right.
It's not all about us.
Yeah. I feel like that phrase is one of the things that they could have kept to themselves.
She's talking about the pics of white folks in shackles. Nah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
And I agree, and I agree, and I don't need you to kiss. I don't need you to wash my feet.
No.
I agree. Don't touch my body.
Yeah.
We good.
Yeah.
Chanel says she wants her reparations. And that's the same thing with Joy is saying, run me my coins.
Wow.
But I think that it is an opportunity to teach a different lesson and show like unity, because some people, we do get caught up in our own personal experiences. Like my experiences with racism, though it is the same and it may be racism, it's still different than your experiences or anybody up here who's experienced it. And sometimes we all have different triggers. And I don't think that people really think about that.
Yeah.
Have the youth really reached out to any of you guys during this time about like this situation, and have y'all kind of talked to them about it?
So I'll say I am a swim coach for a high school team, and I had a conversation with one of my swimmers just about what's going on. I don't have too many Black swimmers on the team, but I do have one, and her and I spoke. I actually reached out to her though. She didn't reach out to me.
Okay.
Okay.
What made you reach out to her first then?
Just as a coach, I reached out to the entire team as, just as a coach and as a leader for them. But for her, I reached out to her separately as well, just to check on her, see how she was doing.
That's dope. That's really, really dope.
What about you two?
Do I go in?
Oh, you go, Ash.
Okay. Well, for me, we haven't had a chance to really see our kids in a long time because of COVID. We haven't done any events in the last few months here, but a lot of the youth that participate in our organizational events are my nephews and my cousins. So before we hosted a march a couple weeks back in Holly Springs, the Black Lives Matter march. Before we did the march, I talked to my nephews and my cousins that were going to be participating just to see how much they understood of what were going on. And they ranged from ages about 11 to about 15. And I was surprised that they did understand a lot of what was going on. But I was also surprised when I asked them if they had ever experienced racism. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only one said they had. Now I found that encouraging, but then I was also like, I think when you're young, my son is 11. I think he may have experienced some racism and didn't even know what it was. Didn't know he was being, discriminated against, or that something derogatory was going on. Because I reflect on times of me growing up, I didn't realize what a situation was really about until I was old enough to kind of understand what was actually going on.
Right. Yeah.
So, I struggle with that. How much do you actually say to the kids? Because if they don't think they're experiencing the racism, I don't want to be like, oh, yes, you are. I bet. I don't want to put these ideas in their head. But at the same time, I just don't know that they can call it out as much as someone older can. But yeah.
Yeah, that's very true because to be honest, the very first time that I experienced racism, I remember I was an adult, and I remember getting a phone call from HR, and they were like, "Hey, we just want to let you know that an investigation is taking place because you were a victim of racial discrimination." And so I was like, "Really?" You'd be like, "Really?" And come to find out, I really was.
Wow.
And they got hold of some information. And so because now this is my default. If somebody is rude or something like that, I'm like, oh, you having a bad day. I don't care. I keep it moving. But I don't look at people through a malicious lens or think about malicious intent. So it was a huge eye opener for me. Like, so all those times you was purposely being mean. And I was like, it's funny because I'm like,
and you didn't immediately see the race thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the same thing with my nephews. I'm sorry, I'm talking over.
No, you good.
Okay. The same thing with my nephews. I understand that they thought they hadn't witnessed it, but I'm thinking, y'all don't even realize why I won't let y'all walk around this neighborhood by yourselves and walk to the park. I'm always walking out there with you. And I don't say I'm coming with y'all because somebody might call and say y'all a gang of Black boys out here doing this. I'm just in the background, making sure I'm with you guys, and I can see looks, I can see, I know the type of people that are around my neighborhood and other places we go. And I don't think they realize the measures we as parents and mentors and influences of them have to go through to make sure that they are protected.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. Ian, you was about to say something?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I had one student reach out to me about it. She was wrestling with whether she should go out and march or just other ways to, I guess, kind of fix the problem. And one of the things that I was just telling her was, don't go off of your emotions. Just do what's in your heart, what you feel is right.
Yeah.
And everything else will kind of fall in place for you. So I don't think she went out there on the front lines, but she's trying to think of other ways to fix the problem, like strategically. So, and most of the other kids that I talked to about it, it was more of a group setting versus like one-on-one. I've talked to more kids one-on-one about our current pandemic than I have everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think that this is a good opportunity and a good time to talk about it, and without having it be a rushed conversation. Me and my wife, to be honest, we struggled with when we were going to talk to our kids about race relations, but unfortunately in Wake County, they baptized yet in kindergarten. Race relations quick. So, having a conversation with my then 5-year-old daughters, one who's 11, one is 9, but the 11-year-old, she just took it with a grain of salt. But whereas my now 9-year-old, when she was 5, she really internalized it. And really, it had a different effect on her. It wasn't like, oh, this is a conversation we can kind of just talk about real quick and move on. She was like, no, I need to understand, because we also have an interracial family. And so she was like, so what does this mean about auntie so-and-so or uncle so-and-so or cousin so-and-so? So it really did a doozy on her more than anything. And then with the resurgence of it being so, when it's so in your face right now, we had a whole conversation about it, and they were like, yeah, they actually knew more about it as an 8 and 9 and 11-year-old than I thought that they did. And it made the conversation easier. And they understand that they're good people, they understand that they're bad people, and they understand that some people will just see you for your race and judge you based off of that. And that's somewhat comforting but sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we keep telling people that when you're Black in America, you're conscious of your race all the time.
Right.
And so it's sad that my 9 and 11-year-old are now conscious of their race. And it was something that we didn't introduce to them. It was introduced to them by the school system, by society. And we had no choice in it. So we had to hurry up and triage it, man.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Kind of got me a little bit. See?
I say, I don't even have kids. That's
Yeah. So what about this one? Can y'all shout out some Black businesses to support? Joey did this, girl. We shout out y'all Black businesses all the time.
Listen, we have 4 or 5 up here right now.
Yeah, it's fine. Enterprises, Facts for You, Teens Have a Voice Too, Make Your Mark.
Yeah. Look at you, just causing trouble.
Joy, what is the name of your business? Like, what's the official name? Because Joy can actually do stuff. She claimed that she retired from poetry, but she is like a dope poetess. She has a clothing line out. She has healthcare products that are out. Joy can basically reinvent herself like so many different ways. But Joy, put your business there. And of course, we always shout out authors in art.
Yeah.
She's like, I ain't never heard any of them.
Till today.
Nice to meet you, Joy.
She said, right, Ashley, it's tough bringing awareness without causing fear, anger, or paranoia.
Yeah.
But if you got some Black businesses, guys, definitely put them in the comments so other people can see it as they're viewing and things like that. Shout out those Black businesses. I know we got
authors in art.
I said authors in art.
Did you?
Yeah, but authors in art again. If you look at any of the Love is a Parable hashtags, authors in art is always hashtag. Teens Have a Voice Too is always hashtag. CG is always hashtag, because we believe in promoting other businesses. And now we're going to add Facts for Youth as a hashtag and Make Your Mark.
Right, correct.
As a hashtag, because these are dope organizations that are doing things and they're not caught up in self. They really believe in helping the youth and helping those that they're really trying to empower.
Right.
I wish I would have got that the first time I came on, but it's all good though. We'll talk about that another day.
You were Brother Empowerment when you came on.
Exactly.
How you a collaborator getting jealous of the new people?
Man, you're up here causing amongst the ranks.
And stop rocking. You confusing the mic. It's like you're giving your own. Boom. Okay. So the next one is, let's talk about it. Black finances.
Okay.
Oh, I missed one. I'm sorry. How about an open dialogue between youth and older males sharing their feelings about recent events? You want to get some youth together, Ian, and do it?
I would love to, because it doesn't happen enough.
Lunch.
Yeah, we don't do that enough with just younger teens as a whole. So, I would love to do that. And that's the fastest way to make a connection with the kid, telling your story. So,
yeah, and actually having a conversation and not talking at them.
Oh yeah, that is one thing that I talk to brothers my age and even some older brothers about all the time. We have that conversation. There has to be a respect level at minimum, and I think there's too much of that going on when you talk about especially when you have older generations talking about how the younger generation doesn't respect them, or it's like no, the respect them has to be there all around. Like you don't like want to talk to somebody who doesn't respect you out the gate. So why would they want to do that? You know? So yeah.
And also putting yourself in a vulnerable space. Like Jay, me and you've had conversations about this. Like us as men, we don't do that enough. We don't display our vulnerability enough. So yeah, that would definitely be a good time to do it.
Right, because I definitely believe when you come into a conversation, a conversation is about an exchange.
Yes.
So if you're doing all of the talking and you're doing all of the importation, where's the exchange taking place? Because youth can really tell you some things. It can really school you on some things. But what's most important is, as we get older, we can't lose our youth lens.
Right. Exactly.
Because the truth of the matter is, you're going to always be a child. You just learn how to be an adult. And we can't just think just because I've been on this earth longer that I'm all experienced and all knowing. No, there's some youth that can really school you. But also, you may be that only person where they feel heard. And you don't know what that does. Statistics show that most people get angry when they lose control. And most of them lose control when they feel like they're not being heard or lack the ability to express themselves. So why are we taking that ability away from people when that's a great opportunity to really empower and really engage and really go into a conversation? That's what I loved about what Coach Jasmine said, because she said, I'm their leader and I'm there for them to help them. And that's what a coach should do, is go check on the team, not wait for the team to come to you. And if you are a youth advocate, that means you go to that service. You don't be the service, you serve.
Right.
And I think a lot of people miss that. They say, well, we're providing a service to them. No, you are serving them, which is the service. So thank you for that. I was listening. Coach Jasmine.
Absolutely.
Retired model on the scene. She's talking about, I need business. You know what? I'm sick of her. Office and Art, Miss J's Teas and Things, Queen Collections, Brand on Demand, Black Dollar, Black Flea Market NC. Yeah, keep on going. Business.
Busy lady.
No, she's shouting out other organizations too.
Oh, I thought she was saying that was all her stuff.
Miss J's Teas and Things. So yeah, she actually be doing the work. She put in the work and she actually does support. So that's a cool thing too. So what's the next one? The next one is, let's talk about it. Black finances. Why so many African Americans still rent versus buy. That's one part of it. We're going to do that and we're going to come to the other part. Why do you think Blacks are still renting versus buying?
Part of it for me, I think, is just a lack of knowledge. I talk very often about breaking generational curses and understanding that our white counterparts tend to, pass things on to their young versus our generation and our communities not necessarily doing that. So of course, something that I do is financial literacy, at the high school level. If I can continue to go down even further and younger, I would like to do that, because I think the younger you can get them, the better. But yeah, I just think it's just lack of knowing. And I read a quote one time that said, renting is just like throwing money into the toilet and flushing it down. versus buying and having that asset. So it's just lack of knowledge.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I think that's the biggest part. I think the other part of that might just be fear too. When ownership brings new costs into the equation. When you own something, you're responsible for it for the most part completely. And some people don't want or may just be afraid of that responsibility when it comes to ownership. But I think the biggest part is, like you said, Jasmine, is not lack of knowledge. I think that's one thing that, I mean, that's a story of our community, is knowledge has been kept from us so many different areas in so many different ways that we've had to play catch up. And it's by design for sure. So, yeah.
And to piggyback off what both of you said, and some people, home ownership it never was a goal. They don't think they can.
Right.
So, you know, so all of us sitting here, we probably all knew at some point we're going to buy a house, you know, but that's not part of someone's world. Their mom didn't have a house. Their parents didn't have a house. Their grandparents didn't have a house. They don't even understand the concept of home ownership.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I might just put.
I really don't know the whole answer to that, because now I do agree that ignorance is part of it, just lack of knowledge of it too. But I do look at also that what we consider wealth is different too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like for instance, I have this love-hate relationship for like the financial, what do they call? The financial literacy coaches. Because a lot of times they talk to you as if you have a traditional life, in essence. Well, if you invest 10% of this and 10% of that, you'd be like, if I could invest 10%, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Or they quickly assume that your financial situation is because you lack financial etiquette and understanding of how to balance and budget. So that's what usually turns me off with that too. But also we also communicate as if it's only one way. Like for me, I was sitting there thinking with the kids, I was like, I want to leave them something, but I want to leave them something that is reoccurring. Yes, we can get into stocks, but the stock market is so inconsistent right now.
Yeah.
Some people win, some people don't. And if you haven't been doing it for a long time, it could literally put us in a deficit. So my kids wrote a book. That's something that can be around forever. And when they become famous, guess what? Somebody's going to buy that book, and that's going to be money that continuously go. And I think that it's a lot of us who are artists. I know we pick at the, what's the people that be on the little machine, the little app, and the new artists? I forgot what the thing called. The thing that they do music on.
A bunch of things they do music on. Which one? SoundCloud, TikTok?
Not TikTok, but they actually have like their albums and stuff on it.
SoundCloud, Spinrilla, iTunes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what
I can't even think what it is. It's like Lab Band or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, SoundCloud. That's it.
Oh.
I said that.
I couldn't remember because
Hey, Jacob's looking crazy, man.
I get so many SoundCloud artists be like, yo, can you check out my whole album? And I'll be like, yo, but some of them have like 4 and 5 albums.
Yeah.
And some of it actually is the truth. It's just that people don't know. And I think if we support the arts, like we support everything else, a lot of those people that we sometimes say, oh, that's not a good investment, it really would be a good investment because their music is sometimes better than a lot of the people that's out there now. Yeah. And I just think that we got to help also incentivize financial opportunities.
Yeah.
Instead of always going to the minority white organizations or the corporate organizations, go to the small businesses, because that is somebody's opportunity of trying to leave something for their children.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sensitive about that too, because that's part of the problem with Holly Springs. It was a lot of successful Blacks, but they didn't have anybody to leave that stuff to, or they instill, you get an education, you get a job, and you do better than me, but not realizing that that land is worth some money. That land has tripled.
Yeah.
In Holly Springs in less than 50 years. It has tripled. And guess what's happening? That land is being annexed or taken up by different organizations or being bought out. And those are opportunities that we're missing, and people don't talk about that.
Yeah. So if I can, I was talking to Ian a couple weeks ago.
Like, if I can, she said, "Excuse me, you better just get in there."
Part of the issue with Black finances is we don't invest in our own community. So there's a fact out there that says, Black Americans spend over $1.2 trillion on average annually. However, the dollar only circulates in the Black community for 6 hours, as opposed to 30 days and 17 days for our white and Asian counterparts.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think, just like you said, we're just not putting our money back into our own community. And it kind of goes back to the home ownership. We're too busy giving the white man money versus keeping it within our homes. And so it's a much bigger issue, and trying to break it down in little pieces is kind of hard sometimes, but it's a systemic thing too. It's just we're just kind of put up against this.
I definitely agree with that. And I also agree with the fact that when we talk about racism, we don't talk about the reactions to racism or the responses to racism. A lot of the cultures that we have right now, the history or the behaviors that we have is a direct response to racism and mistreatment. So the way that people think. And so sometimes that's why I get under my skin when people bash people like, well, why they think like that? Well, some people think like they do because they were exposed to different things that force them to act that way. Like another statistic that most people don't realize, do you know the average American does not move more than a 60-mile radius of their home?
Right, their hometown.
So they don't even know what opportunities are out there. Think about how many people you know who have never left their hometown. I got a whole family who have never moved outside of their hometown, ever. And when I moved to Columbia, which was 72 miles from Augusta, Georgia, they was like, "You moved that far?" But a lot of people don't do that. So when you talk about it, if I don't have opportunities outside of my home, I don't know to invest. And the funny thing is, that's what Love is a Parable is about. Tara is on, she'll tell you. One of the things that we do is we believe in investing in our own. That's why we have collaborative efforts like what we do with Ian, like what we do with Curry, like what we do with Tara, because we are trying to debunk all of those things of saying that it's lonely at the top, or you got to do this by yourself and that. No, we've been winning together for 3 years, and it's been kind of fun.
That's dope.
And you got people to brag with. So we got some comments. I'm gonna put them up. You gonna read them, bro?
Sure. So Marcus was agreeing with you. We talking about the finances. He says him and my mom made me buy a house. They didn't make me. I just made a decision that it was time. They just helped me. They just helped push me in the right direction. We're just gonna go with that.
I feel like nothing.
I
agree with you. I support you, brother.
Joy said, y'all come out to Summer Vibes at Fierce Boutique on Sunday from 2 to 6. Black Farmers Market on Road from 1 to 4 on Sunday by the YMCA. And the Black Flea Market NC on the 5th of July, 2 to 6 at the loading dock, 1053 Camille Road.
Y'all make sure y'all support
I need you to make some events and just invite them to us, because I'm not gonna remember all that. Joyce also said she said I thought I wanted a house until I had to handle responsibilities of a home when I rented one. I don't want one no more. Just like what Ashley said, some people don't want that. Some people do not want that. They don't want that for their life.
I actually have a friend who's a realtor, and she was like, she really don't want a home. She never wanted a home. It was like her husband made her get a home. But she understood, which I don't understand. She understands how housing depreciation works. And her whole thing was like, she actually moved from like condo to condo and did one of those things. She was like, because when you average it out, I have the property, but I don't have to deal with the expenses and all of that stuff. So it's different people who have different knowledge. And I think it's about bringing all of that to the table, because, different strokes for different folks.
When all the knowledge, people can make a decision that's best for them. And even if someone has all the knowledge of benefits of ownership, they may still choose to not have it because they don't, like I just said, they don't want that for their life. It's not in their plan.
Right.
And that's perfectly okay. when you have all the knowledge, you make a decision that's best for you and your household or whatever. Nobody can really say anything about that because it's not about them. It's about what's best for you. Uncle Marcus said, have a closet full of latest gear, Nike, Prada, and driving license, but renting is counterproductive in today's financial climate.
Well, who gonna say anything to you, Uncle Marcus? You the Uncle Marcus.
Joy also said, I don't want to handle maintenance issues related to home buying. I'd rather have a landlord that handles it. That's a big one that I've heard from quite a few people.
Comfort.
Yeah. Kerwin, what's up, Superman?
Superman.
He said, peace, brothers. Peace, my brother. Been freedom fighting. And so Kim did, she said SoundCloud. What's up, Kim? Joy said, I stopped buying from Bath and Body Works and started buying the same or similar products from local small businesses. Now that's definitely big because in most places where you are, there's somebody local who is there fulfilling the service that you need most of the time, I think, in my opinion.
And it's so bad, I actually go to certain people to just tell me, like, I don't even look for certain stuff. I just call Tara and be like, Tara, do you know?
Yeah.
I don't need to Google. She is my Google.
There are so many Black folks who are just are making their mark in all the areas that we go to big corporations for. So, yeah. Uncle Marcus said, Joey went to talk about that one. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but yeah.
Yeah.
Chanel said Massachusetts to North Carolina. Yeah, that's right. Chanel is from Boston. Let's see. Keon said, no, they made sure I was there. No, you're fine, though. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
That profile picture made it even funnier.
You got to know Keon to know why.
Yeah, he's
on top of that. It's funny.
He's just disrespectful. Just don't mind him.
Okay.
Joy said she'd rather have a condo, like Jay was saying. Yeah. And then Tara said, can we talk about how COVID-19 keeps me out of these streets? The events look great, but I'm self-quarantined. What's the secret? Uncle said, if you're paying rent and the landlord handles the maintenance, buy the house and hire someone to do the maintenance. Now, I will add on to that and say, if you know people that do maintenance or that especially that kind of thing, it could save you some money because I happen to know people that do maintenance on commercial and residential properties, and it is very much cheaper.
He's agreeing with Keon.
Uncle Marcus is disrespectful too. Don't mind him. I love him, but he's disrespectful. And Joy said her coins aren't there yet. Hey, all good, Joy, because we all know
they don't teach you about too. They don't teach you about the stress of keeping that stuff too.
Yep.
Because we got two houses and a rental property in Florida, and that junk is stressful because when you lose a job or when you make decisions, you constantly think about that. Yes, it's great to have it, but nobody talk about the stress.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, you talk about both sides of that thing. Like, it feel good to have it when you have it, when it's new and working. It's like a new car. It's great when that car working, but man, after that first 2 years,
we got to maintain that stuff.
You be like, take it back.
That's why I kind of preach having multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
Right. Especially in like what's going on right now with COVID coming up. If you have all of your eggs in one basket and that basket falls, you don't got any eggs left. So if you have some multiple streams of income and multiple baskets with eggs in it, that kind of helps out with the stress part.
Yeah.
So,
do you think they should start teaching that with the financial piece?
Oh yeah.
Or you do that? You say you do that already?
Yeah.
Can we sign up for your class, or it's just for kids?
I always want to learn.
Do you take 40-year-olds? I want to be in there.
Hey, look, I'm not going to ask for discount. We believe in paying the full price.
Right, but please don't sign me up for no pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not multi-level marketing. What do they call it now? It's another term now. What is the term they call it now, Tara? It's not multi-level marketing. It's
network marketing.
Yeah, network marketing.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Don't network market me, Jazz.
Like you, Jazz.
I don't charge for any of my workshops. I go around and do them at no cost. So just come on, whichever one you want.
Bring your 30-something-year-old self too, Ashley. We all going.
Yeah, we going.
Like, we're going to vegetables.
Let's go. She said free.
Let's see.
Tara, Joy said, Tara, wear your mask and get out the house. Tara said, another reason we don't usually move from home base is the psychological damage of where Are we welcomed or not in danger? Especially older generations, it's getting better. We raise global thinkers. Yeah, I can say that that's a global thing. I've been in quite a few places around the world, and that is just, there's every ethnic group, every culture, most of them just do not move far from where they're from for whatever reason. They don't.
Yep. And that's very true, because like my mom, it wasn't until my brother, who lives in New York. It's funny how you talk about stuff. Like, she raised us to my older sibling. She was like, I want all of y'all live in 4 different states, 4 different cities.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother moved to New York, which he's been there for over 15 years. And then I'm here, got another brother in New Orleans and another one in Atlanta, older brothers. And that was the first time she got on the plane, when my brother had my niece.
Mm-hmm.
And now she done sold a family home. Nobody go to Augusta, really. And she lives between us. And she's living a different life. And her wealth is now going to just maintain, until she transitions.
Yeah.
She don't have to worry about any of that. And she got clothes, so all she does is carry on and keep on walking.
That's efficient. That is super efficient.
Let me see.
That's really cool.
Chanel, you can get it. You can pay for it too. I'll sign it over to you now.
Tara said, Joy, I go to the grocery store. She said, that's it.
And that's an episode there.
Hey, yeah, the grocery store is like the club now. It's packed in there.
I went to Walmart for the first time today since COVID, and I came out with a headache.
Yeah, Walmart is the worst.
Yeah, that's my going since the lockdown. I've been ordering groceries and ordering everything I can,
Mm-hmm.
and I made myself go in there today. Well, I didn't make myself. I was in the area and I had to wait around, and so I went in Walmart. And I got a headache, and I feel like being quarantined and on the lockdown is making me antisocial. I may stay in the house even when it's okay to be out and about all the time.
I don't know, the way you was running in that march, ma'am. I was like, how's she running?
Hey, now that was for the cause.
Well, I was trying to run too, and then I started breathing heavy, so I just walked.
Oh.
My wife said she's going to be in the class. So, sound like to me, Jazz, you about to do a whole other parable session.
Yeah, just
Good. I got y'all.
create a spot for you and just pull stuff up in the corner. We'll be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, Kimberly Rawls late, but she said, hey.
Keon said, we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. A quote from Dave Ramsey. Now, that is unfortunately a thing for quite a few people in the community and outside of the community.
I don't even buy things that I need because I don't have the money that I want. And I can't even impress the people I like. My wife is, I'm trying to tell you, it's hard out here for a pimp. They having a whole conversation.
Yeah, Uncle Marcus said, you got to have somewhere to live, so you might as well buy if you can. If you can't, work on buying. Leave something for your kids so they won't have the struggle that you did. Now, I understand that.
That's why we're going to get Uncle Marcus back on.
Yeah.
He want to say so much with his chest. Nobody can't say nothing back because you Uncle Marcus. It's like, yes, sir. That's all.
Yeah. That was the main reason. That's one of the main reasons outside of me wanting to. The second reason for me to get a house was I wanted something to leave the children that I am going to have in the future. I don't want them to have to worry about paying someone's rent or anything like that. They can just pay whatever on the house when they get it, when I leave it to them.
Yeah, unless they jerks like me and my siblings, because nobody wanted their family at home.
Or that. Yeah, there's always
My
that.
mom was like, so y'all don't know, we don't want that. No.
Joy said, F them kids. She said, I don't plan on having a married child the first. Oh, man. She said, y'all go to Little and Aldi. You have space and breathing room.
I don't go nowhere where I have to bag my own groceries. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm Southern. I feel like you need to ask me paper or plastic. I never denied these things. But I don't feel like go digging for a box to put my groceries in to put in the trunk and they be rolling out fruit, watermelon, just roll off. I ain't got time for that.
Tara said, I'm a mom, I got to think about them versus my fun. It's a struggle, but I was a street runner before. I love home.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is true. She be trying to figure out a way to keep the studio closed and be home at the same time, but serve the customers. She gonna give him an E5. Be like, I'll bust you in.
I guess I see you on the camera. Tara said, don't buy nothing. Yeah, I haven't really bought much of anything outside the essentials since during this period. It'll probably be that way for the rest of the year. So I don't really do too much anyway. So Edward Dudley say pimp, aka global love advocate. I don't know who he's talking about.
But Jasmine, Ashley, and Ian. Well, Ian, you already know Edward J. Bishop Everlasting Joy Dudley actually is a professional networker who is someone you should know. And he's someone that you should talk to. So after this is over, you definitely want to connect with We Are Connected because it actually is a good source. And he's not that great of a guy, but his wife is awesome. So that will kind of just help. If you just stay connected to his wife, everything will work out. So get connected, okay?
They having a whole conversation.
A whole conversation.
Kim said bag of groceries, Jay.
See? And then I always forget. I always buy the 99-cent bag and leave the bag at the house because you don't plan to go to Aldi's. You're like, let me just come in here real quick. And you like,
I've never been in an Aldi before. I need to go make that trip.
You ain't missing nothing but bagging your groceries. It's Sam's. It's BJ's.
Okay.
It's Costco. But you buy single items.
Okay. Joyce said, I keep my bags and do self-checkout because them folks at the store don't know how to do their job. I can just picture her saying that just with the
and it's true because they ain't got to do nothing. All they do is sit on a stool and ring you up and your groceries just roll. And you got to put them in a box or put them in the little Baron shopping cart. It's just not a pleasant experience for me. It was like that time I went to Atlanta. I think they got a rainbow. It's like a rainbow thing, and they got a bag that I just don't understand. I walked out. I don't need the groceries. I don't need the ice cream. I don't need any of it.
Wow.
I'm not bagging my groceries. The funny thing is my wife loves all this, but she prepared. She like, I'm going to Aldi's. She go leave out with all the bags like you're supposed to, but me, I'm always, and then you got to pay a quarter to rent the darn shopping cart.
For real?
Yeah, the quarter in there so you can unhook it, and then they make sure you put it back. It's just too many. It's too many rules. I don't like to be restricted. It reminds me of an iPhone.
I hear your passion.
Yeah, he was really passionate about that. Mama Garnett said in Walmart, as long as you stay in the self-checkout line, when it's your turn, you can request a checker to check your order. I didn't even know that, but I don't really go to Walmart.
Now that's bougie. If my mama made Walmart sound high end, now that's bougie. Mama, y'all look at her. Look at her, got her chest all out and everything, but looking fabulous. That's what 70 will do, 69 will do for you.
Word. Wait, one more topic, man.
I can't even pronounce the last one. Is it little?
Yeah, I was like, is it little?
Is it little?
Yeah.
How you pronounce it?
That's what I thought. Little. Lidl, I don't know.
Lidl?
I just know where it's at.
Lidl?
Yeah, I'm lost.
All I see is bagging groceries. That's all I see. Now that systemic racism is being discussed, what's next?
So this comes up for the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if Dion's in here, but Dion, you're looking at what's next. We are the next.
Mm-hmm.
There in this panel alone, you have people who are tackling issues in the community of racism on all kinds of different fronts: finance, arts, love, all that. Youth. We got it all. We got it all, or most of it, right here.
You said tackling.
Yeah, tackling.
Tackling.
Oh my bad. We are tackling.
Two words together. Tackling.
What's next? Like there's something like
tackling. I'm. That's a word. I'm keeping. I felt it.
They're looking for the master plan. If there was a master plan, someone would have implemented it a long time ago. Like there's no master plan. And if you're looking for the master plan, like I said last week, our forefathers, the people that came before us, our great Black scholars who dedicated their whole lives and their livelihoods to getting us out of this mess and bettering the community, wrote books on top of books. The blueprint's already there. Read the books. Then we just have to execute. But the blueprint's already there if that's what you're looking for. If you're not looking for what we're doing.
Yeah, we are tackling it. I'm in agreement. I don't think that's gonna be close. I'm just letting you know. Tackling, I felt that. No, I'm serious. Tackling. Don't y'all feel that? Like we are tackling it.
Yeah, I'm tackling it by educating myself on what's going on, you know.
We tackling it by getting in Jasmine class.
Right.
Realizing how stupid we are and going back to school.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's just one of the things. When people ask what's next, it's like, man, there are already so many organizations that are the next. So if you're looking for what's next, support them because they are the next. So yeah, they are the next steps. So,
You're tackling that.
Oh man. So okay.
Let it go.
No, he's not.
Oh no, that's gonna be a post as soon as it's over, and y'all gonna be tagged in. So my wife said right, cause my wife an Aldi snob too. She'd be like, no, the produce is better at Aldi's. Yeah, cause you work for Aldi's. You went to the field to get it, and then bring it up and pay for it. You work for it. You might as well. It need to be free. It need to be free.
Joyce, if you go through self-checkout, you might get free groceries. We want
I'm like
that kind of stuff.
Criminal. Mama say no. I let them know I don't work for Walmart. You know what? Why I felt her say that with that deep voice on that boy. I don't work here. Lido. Normalizing our collective Black lives should be next. It should be now too.
Yeah, it should be now. Forever. But yes, Tara, yes, definitely.
She said them books too long.
No, see, you know what, Joyce? See, the knowledge is right there, and you don't know. See,
they got audio books, girl. You better do an audio book because that's how I read these days. Put it on play and try to work. No, you talk to Cliff. He'll give you the notes.
Tara said, creating effective allies is now using every platform and table whilst building ours. For sure, definitely, sis. And Kerwin said the movement is here. He's right.
That's it.
That's another. It's on the front line, so that's another part of the next. So I tell you, we got it all. We got it all. We got the front lines. We got the youth. We got everything. You know what I'm gonna start doing when people ask what's next? I'm gonna say, "Hey, go watch Brother Empowerment."
No, I'm gonna say, have Google Kerwin.
Yeah, that too.
Cause that arm be up somewhere. It be up somewhere talking.
Yep.
He's probably on news right now. He probably doing an interview while he's commenting on here. I like audiobooks. I'll do that.
Thank you. Do that, Joy.
Oh, look, we got Miss Roar University herself.
Hey, DG.
Dion DG McGee.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Nice to join us. Love to have you here.
Another game changer in the mix. She's actually been talking about implicit bias for the longest, because that's actually how she came out of corporate America, and she's educating people on things. Like it's been here, it's been here, and she's definitely not one to watch; she's one to know. So definitely, Jasmine and Ashley, if you don't know some of the people that are in the comments, these are some people that you do need to know, because these are also people that are really doing the work. And they don't see the receipts, you'll just see the footprints from the work that they are doing currently. A lot of them got dirt on their boots because of how much that they're doing in the community. And they're not about self, they're about actively moving as a unit. And so I used to think that it was rare, but it actually is quite common because it's a lot of great people out here that really want us all to win together. Yeah,
most definitely.
He's I just got off. Look at it, see?
Yeah, he did. He's been freedom fighting. So if y'all don't know, Kerwin is a Superman. He is Superman, and his day job is he's a personal trainer. That's what he moonlights as a regular person. But freedom fighting is his. That's what he really in his suit is his. That's his Superman outfit. Is a suit with a tie. So y'all see him fighting injustice everywhere on Facebook and on TV.
I do. I always end up falling into his lives. He has the best lives.
Yeah.
Well, they are quite interesting. They are interesting.
What's up, Deshaun?
Deshaun said I have many audiobooks that I can recommend. Going to put them in the comment threads, my brother.
Put them in there, Brody. Go ahead and do it.
You talking about go ahead and add Kerwin because they interview him every time they see him. How I know? Because I watch the news.
Yeah, Kerwin,
exactly.
Man, Kerwin is out there. So when we say, I've said before, when I say less, do more, like that's what we're all about. Is you're not about a whole bunch of talking and grandstanding and all that. Like, no, we're really about doing work. We don't have time to do all that talking because we're really out here working.
And one of the other things that I was going to say, guys, if you haven't had that opportunity, this is a way to connect with all of our guests. All the information is down there as well. One of the things that Kerwin said that always stuck with me is he said, I'm trying to rebuild the community I helped to destroy.
Yeah.
And he's been on the grind doing just that.
Yeah.
So we done made it to that hour.
Yep.
We were supposed to stop a long time ago, but we didn't. It was good.
Yeah, it was.
Did you have fun, Jasmine? Did you have fun?
Yeah, that hour flew by.
They worry about it.
Look at him smiling too. But no, this is when we do positive brother shout out. We shout out positive brothers that are making change in the community. And most importantly, some of those who don't really have time to get a congratulations or a pat on the back. We just want to make sure that we're representing and serving and looking out for those brothers that are making a change.
Yeah.
So shout out, who want to go first? Jasmine, you go first since you raised your hand.
Oh, did I? You see my hand? Wow. All right. Well, if I can, I'm going to shout out Mr. Brown himself, my father. He is kind of the reason I got into the financial literacy game. He's a financial.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
Hello.
He actually used to coach me on stock symbols when I was younger, so I owe everything that I'm doing to him. And he also is he owns a daycare in Fuquay. He's getting ready to open up another one in Holly Springs. He owns land in Holly Springs, so he's definitely one of those people that I look up to in this finance.
I look up to your daddy too. Hey,
word.
Hey, cousin, uncle, daddy.
That's goals right there, for sure.
For sure. Who's next?
My daddy, that's it. Positive. She was like, only one, daddy. She like, next. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yo, I definitely got to shout out Kerwin. Definitely got to shout out Ed as well, too. Of course, UJ and UCG. Of course, myself. Definitely putting in that list.
Myself, yo. Oh, wow.
And a couple more brothers, my homie Daryl Glover and my homie Craig Simon. They definitely putting in some work too, just in their industries. Like, give you a good example. My homie Daryl Glover, he's an optometrist, and he's making some waves right now by telling his stories and injustices that he's faced in the optometry industry. So
okay, word,
yeah. Teens have a voice too. Because also y'all in Africa too, right?
we almost there.
No, I'm serious. Like, I was really serious.
Oh, that's big, man. That's
big. I mean, that's like an international. That's an international youth advocate. Y'all thought he was local. Ashley?
I want to shout out you guys. Wow, I got you here. I'm so glad to have connected with each of you guys for the cause. And I also want to shout out another group of guys that's similar to what y'all have going on here. They have a podcast called the Betterment Podcast, and they're all about the betterment and advancement of Black men. And it's just a group of brothers that they're all for the cause. And I had a chance to talk with them on their podcast last week, I believe. So I really like what they're doing. I also want to shout out Jamar Cobb, who's a longtime friend. He grew up in Holly Springs, and he's another brother who's doing great things in the area.
He just he running for council too.
He's running for council. That's where I was going next. So just doing great things. I like to see all the leaders being connected. We had this talk the other day, Jay. I like to see how the leaders are connecting and how everybody is so motivated right now to see change and to be that change. So those are the guys.
Man,
we got to do because it's Uncle Marcus. He gave a big old one.
He said, Uncle Marcus said, let me say throughout history, nothing has ever changed until you get white folks on board. Emancipation, civil rights, and now this. Until it offends white folks so deeply they can't sleep at night, nothing changes. We need to make sure they keep witnessing the horrible acts to people of color so they can never sleep soundly again. This is very true.
That sounded like Straight Color Purple until you do right. I felt it.
Yeah. So it's for my positive brother shout out. Of course, I'll shout out all the brothers that are here with us today. Uncle Marcus, Keon, Ian. I definitely got to shout out my brother Jay.
He shouted himself out.
Yeah, he did.
Ian.
Shout out.
Look, my wife talking about it too.
Yeah. Shout out to Kerwin. But really, I want to shout out all you, of course, you brothers, and also brothers that are actually out here doing in their community, making changes and putting boots to the ground, because that's really what it's about is doing. You know, we can talk all day or say what needs to be done or just ask, you know, what do we do now? We're really going out there and doing and starting in your own backyard, in your own community, and making change and instilling change is what really matters, in my opinion, in the long run, is actually doing. So shout out to all the brothers that are doing that, and definitely shout out to you two brothers on here today, just because I look at y'all like real life game change for real. Brothers like Kerwin, I see Kerwin all the time. And like Jay said, he makes me want to get out there. As soon as I see him, I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough.
Not after Saturday. I don't want to go out there no more.
So, but yeah, really shout out to you brothers, man, just because like y'all let me know that we can do this together. It's not about ego, not about, like I said, not about grandstanding. Like we can actually move the goalposts together. And so yeah, shout out to all of y'all.
Oh, Jay, let me say one thing before you go.
Did you just come to me?
No, hold on. No, I want to say real quick. Because I heard Bob Johnson doing the interview, and to all of the white allies that we do have out there, he said this quote, and I want everybody to take this home with them. He said, when white America apology matches Black America's forgiveness, then we can have change. I just thought,
yeah.
I don't want to give a positive brother shout out after that, because that was like the closing. You like mic dropped on that.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to give a shout out. Definitely, all of you basically have said everybody that I would want to name, other than my brothers, Darryl, Vincent, Rodney, Tramel, Mike, Junior, Alex, all of you guys. I love you and I thank you guys for constantly supporting and being there for me too. But definitely give a shout out to Cordell. I tell you guys this all the time. I would have not done this had it not been for my brother right here to my side. But also Ian and Kerwin, thank you for making Brother Empowerment. Anytime you guys come on Brother Empowerment, I do feel special, because a lot of people don't know that you guys are the reason too that we are successful, because of the work and the efforts that you guys do to make sure that we're successful. And I love this because it's not just about us two. It's a team of us working together, and it's a few other brothers that are really helping us do this. But I thank you, Ian, and I thank you, Kerwin, for always being there, making sure that Brother Empowerment is taken care of, but essentially looking out for Love is a Parable like it's your own. And we all have nonprofits, so it could easily be a competition. And it has never been that. It has been a pleasure knowing you guys for over the last 2 years and pushing this so hard. So thank you for being behind the scenes, well, on the website, but not behind the scenes, but on the website, but still pushing and grinding to make sure that Love is a Parable is a success. And for anybody who's viewing, if you feel like nobody else in this world loves you, you have just met 5 people who do. Know that we are constantly here for you. Reach out to us, connect, share this with a brother that may be going through, but also let anybody know, male or female, they have family that will support them and always be there for them. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good one, okay?
See y'all next week.
Be blessed.